Hi guys, so today I decided I was going to do a video that shows the different techniques to apply foundation. So there is multiple different ways you can do it. So one of the ways I'm going to show you, and excuse my brushes and everything, they are dirty. I haven't had the time to properly completely clean them, so they are pretty dirty. But I'm going to show you how to do it with the sponge. So this is the Beauty Blender, the black one. And then I have 3 different brushes that I'm going to show you how to do it with as well. So this one is the flat top kabuki brush. This is just a makeup school brand. The QC Makeup Academy is where I got this brush from. So they're not really sold in store, but every brand has this kind of brush. So there's the flat top kabuki brush. And these two are fairly similar. So this is the round top kabuki and then an angled one. So I'm going to show you using all 3 of these as well as the Beauty Blender. My personal preference, it kind of depends on the foundation itself, but I love the Beauty Blender just because it's faster for me. And especially in the mornings, I don't really have time. I don't feel like using these, so I use my Beauty Blender. So I'm going to use a couple of different foundations because I like different foundations for different brushes. So I'm going to use this L'Oreal True Match in the shade W2, so light ivory. And then I'm going to use this Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. This is in the shade Breeze. And then I'm also going to use this, I just got, it's the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. And I'm in the lightest shade, Fair Neutral. Which actually it's a little too light, but the other one's a little too dark. I need a tan really bad because this is getting sad. But I am also going to do a review on this product. I've only used it once, so I don't really want to do a review yet because it wouldn't be very accurate since I've only used it one time. So, I'm debating on what to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I am just going to apply it on my cheeks with one brush, and then I'm going to remove the makeup and do it a different way. So first I'm going to prep my skin with Max Fix Plus, especially because I'm going to be putting on foundation, taking it off, putting another one, taking it off. Just to make sure my face is still hydrated, I'm going to use this. So when you're deciding on really what to do for a brush, there is no right or wrong way to use a brush. There is just a what works better, if that makes sense. One thing I can't stand about makeup is when somebody tells you you're doing it wrong. There is no rules to makeup, so really when somebody tells you you're doing it wrong, it's a lie, because there is no right or wrong way. So as far as these brushes though, what I like to do is with the flat top kabuki, I like to more pack it on versus rubbing. I do rub with it as well, but I generally like to just pat it and get it in place. And then with these 2 brushes, I tend to do the same thing with these brushes, so I'm actually only going to use one of them. With these brushes, I actually buff the foundation, so I'll just sit there and buff it around and move it around the face with these brushes. So I'm actually just going to use one of them. I'm just going to use the round one for today, because since I do the same thing with them, there's no point in me doing it twice. And then with the Beauty Blender, what I tend to do is I just pounce it into the skin. So with this product, you can do it one or 2 ways. You can, let's say for example, I use the L'Oreal. It doesn't have a pump or anything. All you're doing is taking it out, and you can dab it, put it on the back of your hand, and then you can dab it on your face, which I sometimes do. Or you can take the Beauty Blender and go like this and do it. Or, I'm giving you a lot of ors. Ors. This foundation is a dropper. And I've only, like I said, used it once. But what I did with that is I just put the dropper, put the foundation directly on the Beauty Blender and then did it. So there's multiple ways you can do it, even just with the Beauty Blender. So I'm going to go ahead and do the L'Oreal True Match with my flat top kabuki. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the L'Oreal True Match foundation. I'm just going to put it on the back of my hand. So you can also take your fingers, pick it up, and dab product. I don't like doing that because still, like I said, at the end, you still have it on your finger. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pick it up on this and just pounce it in. So what I do with the flat top kabuki is very similar to what you do with the beauty blender, or what I do with the beauty blender. So I just dab it in everywhere. Oh, why does it smell weird? So I'm just going to do half my face for this one. But that's all I do with a flat top kabuki. So then to use a buffer or a round top kabuki, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Clinique Beyond Perfecting, which with these two brushes, in all honesty, you could use pretty much every foundation. Well, every liquid foundation. It's just, I find it easier because, you know, there's different foundations that have pumps. There's foundations with droppers. There's foundation with wands. There's foundations with absolutely nothing, and you just pour it out. So, I mean, it's all on your preference of how you want to use it because of how the foundation comes out. So it's all up to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Clinique one because it has a wand. And I'm going to do that on this side. So all I do is just kind of spread it out. And I'm just going to do my cheeks. And in all honesty, you don't have to put that much. This does go a long way, but because I have redness, I like to make it full coverage. So I put a lot. Plus, what I've noticed, because I have redness, when I'm using a buffer or I'm buffing my foundation, a lot of it tends to go away because of my redness. So it's, like I said, all on preference. It's all on your skin type. It's up to you. So all I'm going to do is just kind of buff it in circular motions. Now ignore this because they are very different in colors. This one is a little really white, and this one's a little darker. This Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation tends to come out darker, and then once you let it sit and dry a little bit, it does lighten up. So right now they're not the same, but in a little bit they'd actually be a lot closer. So all you do is you buff it, and you can buff it in circular motions. You don't really want to swipe too much because, especially when your brush is as dirty as mine is right now, you'll start getting all the lines of the brushes. So that's also why I tend to go back and use this and pounce it. But in all honesty, you don't have to do that. That's just because my brushes are dirty. I need to clean them. Yeah, it is what it is. So that's how you use the flat top kabuki and how you use the round top kabuki. So I'm going to take this makeup off so that I can show you how to do it with the beauty blender. So all I'm using is these cotton round pads. I'm going to use this, and it's almost gone. It's my Garnier Skin Active Micellar Water. This is the blue top, so it's supposed to be good for taking off waterproof foundation. I actually think it's really good. So I'm going to use this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. Like I said, I will do a review on this foundation after I've tried it more. So what I'm going to do with my beauty blender is, because this is a dropper, I'm going to do it two ways. That way you can see, even if it wasn't a dropper, a different way that you could do it. So because this is a dropper, I'm just going to pick up the foundation, and then I'm just going to literally drop it onto my beauty blender. And then I'm just going to pounce it onto my skin. When you're dabbing, you want to make sure that you're using a light pressure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually not use this one anymore, just so I can show you that, you know, without a dropper. So I'm going to go back to my L'Oreal, put it on my hand. So for the first one, since it was a dropper, I found it easier just to put it on to my beauty blender. Oh, an inch. Alright. So for this one, because it is just a straight liquid, same with the pump if you wanted to. A lot of people, if you have like a pump, they'll either pump it onto the back of their hand, or they'll even just pump it directly onto their face. But my preference is just to put it on my hand, or if you have some kind of palette or back of a CD you could do that as well. But then all you do is just pick it up with the beauty blender and just start dabbing it in areas. Alright, so that is how you use a beauty blender for foundation. in a couple of different ways. If there's any other ways you know how to use these brushes or the Beauty Blender in different ways that I did not mention, please list it down below. That way other people can learn and I can learn as well. And that's all I have to say. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these kind of videos on how-tos, just let me know in the comments down below. And I guess I will see you next time. Thanks. 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 Who does that? Who does that? I should really do my hair. Alright. Anyways. So I guess until next time. Bye. 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 Who does that?